So thank you for tuning in today. Welcome to another episode of the Will Frederick podcast, where we talk about real estate, wealth building, money, and life. First, I'd like to thank our title sponsor, First Access Mortgage. They're Louisiana's first choice mortgage lender for the last 21 years. We are excited to be partnered with them. And for your first home, a vacation home, or an investment property, they're truly your home loan resource. I have some very special guests with me today. I have my wife, Rhonda, and my son, Josh. William Joshua Jr., actually. So we call him Josh, so he's a junior. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Oh, mom's got jokes. All right, so today I wanted to share a little bit about some things that are very important to me. As y'all know, I've built my whole world around investing in real estate. And so Ron and I believe that with kids, we're supposed to be training our kids and bringing them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord and teaching them what we know. And one of the big things that we try to focus on with our kids is teaching them how to be financially responsible, how to manage money, and how to invest. I want to teach them how to become investors. So we have 5 kids. Josh is our only son. We've done some financial investing with the older 3. So Josh was the one who wanted to come on and share a little bit about it today. So Josh, I'm going to start with you, then we're going to go to Mom. What would you say you've learned about investing? No, we don't talk about all the deals we've done yet, but generally speaking, what lessons have you learned about investing?
Well, I've learned that sometimes don't count your chickens before they hatch, because for a while I thought I was going to have money on this deal and really just expected it for a very long time, and it never did come. So, and then there's another thing that I learned is that don't do deals with Caleb, which is the person we did the deal with.
So yes, so we have some lessons that we're teaching our kids, and they're great lessons to learn. And look, who you do business with is an important lesson, and also don't count your chickens before you hatch. That's an important lesson. So I want to go to Rhonda for a second and just say, hey, welcome to the show, babe. This woman, by the way, is my favorite person on earth, my best friend. The reason I am who I am is a lot because of her. We've been married almost 18 years, and she's awesome. I trust her as an advisor. Anyway, this show isn't a love letter to my wife, I promise, but I wanted to just say that because I think it's important to say. So, babe, how do you think? You're welcome. How do you think that we've been intentional about showing our kids finances? Tell me some of the ways that we've done that.
I think just you, especially because that's kind of your expertise. Like, we communicate with them about some of the deals we're doing. We share the information with them. You know, you're not always sure if they're listening or caring, but we talk to them about it. And then as they've gotten older, if they earn money, we make them tithe off the top. So they take 10% off of the top, and then they split it. So they have to save 50% of that. And then the other 50 is for them to spend how they would like, with our, our input still, but that's their money to spend. And so from an early age, even, just kind of helping train them. I know they don't need that money to live off of. They're not using their money to buy items that they, we're still taking care of them, but just sort of teaching them to have the habit of putting away money and living off of, even for fun, half of what they bring in. Just hopefully that habit will continue. And then also, we believe that tithing is important and what God calls us to do. So having them form that habit of doing that first when they have money. So, but I know, because this is something you're so interested in, I think just them hearing about the deals, some that go well, some that do not, hearing the risks, hearing us process, even how we decide which ones we decide to do. They've just, that's great information that they've been a part of, hearing us process through. And hopefully they're listening to us.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of those things are caught rather than taught. So hopefully by modeling good examples. I mean, Ron and I both have been, Rhonda more than me is a little bit more conservative and saving minded. So she saves. She lives below her means, or she always has. and helps us live below our means. And that's one of the lessons that we're trying to teach our kids is live below your means. Just because you make $50 doesn't mean you need to spend $50. First, right off the top, you give 10% to God because he's the giver of all good things. He's the reason that you can produce is God. So you honor him with that first 10%. And then you take half and put it off to the side and save it. You take the other half and then you can spend it. You have some freedom with that. So that's living below your means because you make $50 and you spend, what's $22.50? I don't know.
Yeah,
so
it's $22.50.
it's $22.50. Josh is good at math. So Josh, how has that felt? Have there been times that you really haven't wanted to tithe and split?
There's been times when I've wanted to just spend the money right off the bat, but I haven't really ever had a problem with tithing because God is the reason we have any of this. But then splitting comes to like, Mom's like, you'll appreciate it in the future. And sometimes I'm like, I don't care about the future. I care about right now. But it's to where I'm just like, yeah, I'll care about it in the future. So don't really mind anymore.
Well, and as you've seen it build over time, right? Because you have a bank account and it's grown and you've watched it build and it's kind of exciting to see it build, right?
Yeah, kind of. The interest is very
exciting. Yeah, we put it in an interest-bearing account, and so that teaches them about the concept of, like, if you have money, other people will borrow it from you and pay you interest for it. So
it's a good thing for them to, like, he moves the money into his savings account. He sees that happen. And, even every couple of dollars, if we move it, like now he does it and can see the total, like you see the effect of even just putting a little bit in. So I think that's a key thing, like not letting them see that. We like to see it. But.
Yeah, and for logistical purposes, if you want to do this type of thing with your own kids, what we have is their bank accounts that we have them named for the kids, but they're our bank accounts. They're savings interest-bearing accounts. And so we just have them at our bank, and we have one named for each of the kids. And so when they make money or when they have extra money, they bring it to us. We break it down. We give them change for whatever they need. We take the cash, but then we transfer money into their bank account from our bank account. So they see it go up. Then they take the tithe and they bring it into the offering plate every Sunday, when we go to church.
Well, not every Sunday. It's every month, maybe-ish.
Yeah, so every month. But they physically get to do that. They get to, see it happen and participate in it.
It's funny because I think as your children get older, they don't remember the earlier years that were more of a struggle because, like, they've sort of, like, hopefully if you're progressing, it's a little bit more comfortable now for us, but we want to teach them, wise use of their money. So like a lot of times if they want something that's not necessary, we'll make them chip in for it, just have some skin in the game. And I feel like it makes kids appreciate what they have more, makes them consider it. Sometimes when I might feel bad that I won't purchase something for them, I'll say, okay, well, if you chip in $10, I'll, and they're like, oh, well, I don't want it then. Kind of helps me go.
Reveals the true motivation.
Okay, like that makes me feel better, and I sometimes it is hard to make them tithe and split when they don't make a lot of money and they're really saving up for something. A part of me is the mom who will say, oh, maybe I should just let them have the whole amount for this one. But then I've watched, what they spend their money on and how quickly it goes and how often it's something not fulfilling to them or they just dismiss it quickly. And that helps even teach me, like, helping them with the delayed gratification, helping them work and make sure they really want it because it takes longer. They have to, like, think about it. And when they save up that money and it takes time, it's harder to spend it, because it's been work for them. They've had to work to get it. So I think, even as a parent who's fairly wise with money, sometimes the mom in me wants them to get what they want. But even I have learned watching that process that it really is good at times, for things that aren't necessary for them to have to wait it out. And I think that's just something in our culture that we often don't do as much, but it's a great lesson. And then when I see them, like I said, like, I don't want that anymore. It kind of helps me in my goal of making them wait for certain things. So,
Yeah, that phrase you said, delayed gratification. Josh said something earlier that hit on it. He said, I don't care about the future. I care about today, which is so much like our human nature. Like we're very instant gratification driven in today's culture. And so one of the disciplines that we try to instill and practice ourselves is that delayed gratification, because like Rhonda said, when you save up for something, it's harder to spend that money. You're not going to part with it as freely. And Josh, I would say that you've felt that.
Delayed gratification?
Well, you felt the power of like not being as quick to spend the money if it's taking you a while to save it up, right?
And there's like the case in like Firehouse too,
Firehouse. Tell me about Firehouse. What's Firehouse?
Well, so this one time Dad was like, if you get a Firehouse, I usually get the sandwich. And
Firehouse subs.
Firehouse subs.
One of our favorite places.
I get the Italian, and I'm like, I eat the whole thing usually pretty quick. And Dad...
The foot long.
And Dad's like, no less tomato or onion, by the way, because I'm not that healthy. But anyway, so he told me, Josh, slow down, leave some of it for delayed gratification. And I was like, okay. So I ate all but about like maybe 2 bites of it. And then when we got home, I was like, see, Dad, delayed gratification. And he was like, no.
So one of the other ways that we've instituted with our kids, so as an investor, I love so much the magic of investing. And that's a lot of times what this show is about, is like how to teach people how to invest. And so I, as just being just tasked from God with training my kids in how to do life well, I want to train them how to invest. And so I want to get them started early, because not a lot of people are taught how to do this. I want to teach lots of people, but I definitely have these kids that I'm supposed to teach of the things. So what we've done is we've started to try to find some investments that they can participate in. And we have a story about one that we did. The oldest 3 kids participated in because they had some money in their bank accounts, and they had I feel like they were old enough to understand what was going on, and I gave them the opportunity to participate. So the way it happened was we were starting to think about this as a family and how we would do it. And a friend of ours, Josh mentioned, Caleb Mobley, good buddy of mine, and the kids have known him since they were born practically. And he came to us with an opportunity to flip a house. He was looking for a hard money lender, which I've never done before, but the investment was about $65,000 to buy the house. And the deal was we would invest the money. We would invest the actually, no, it wasn't 65. I think it was 30 and then another 35 to finish the house. He was going to do a lot of the work. Whatever we invested was going to come from me or us, but me initially, and whatever the proceeds were at the end, we would split it 50-50. Purchase price minus cost, split it 50-50 with Caleb and with me. So I went to the kids and I said, hey, listen, we're going to be in this for I'm going to be in this for about $65,000. Would y'all be interested in participating? And I, kind of laid out how it would work. I laid out what could happen, what might happen, and what would be the worst case scenario, like we lose money. And everybody understood the ramifications. We signed a contract.
The worst case scenario is a very good thing to have, by the way. So
yeah, it's good to know.
It's a good thing.
Why is the worst case scenario a good thing to have, Josh?
Well, because if you don't have a worst case scenario, all you think about is the best case scenario. And then if the best case scenario doesn't happen, then you're just like, man. So
yeah, there's disappointment. Your expectations are too high.
Clarity and expectations.
So you always need to have the worst that could possibly go wrong, so you don't get disappointed.
And understand the risk of a situation, because anytime there's an investment, there's always an element of risk, right?
Yes.
All right. So what we did was, of the $65,000, each of the kids were comfortable putting up $5,000. They had saved that much into their accounts, and they'd actually saved a little bit more than that in some cases, but they said, hey, we want to put $5,000 in. So we drew up a little contract, said $5,000 is a percentage of 65 at this level. So to the degree that my half, came to us, we would give them that same percentage of the $65,000 because of their investment. So we went about doing it, and it was fun, wasn't it?
Well, it was like a lot of waiting,
It was a lot of waiting.
like a year.
Yeah, was it a year?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was a whole year. So it was a pretty slow process. The guy Caleb that we were using, he was doing a lot of the work himself and spending some time out of pocket. And so we would check on it constantly. We would go by and check on the progress and talk to Caleb about it, and so it took a long time. When we finally put it on the market, there were some things that kind of caught us by surprise. Some of the ways that we actually finished it out, probably not as good as it could have been done. And this is by no means a referendum on Caleb, by the way. Caleb, we love you. And Caleb and us have talked about this, and we have a funny story about that, that I'll ask Josh about. So we ended up selling it, and we made, do you remember how much we made?
$65 profit.
Each of the kids or their
I think so, yeah.
on their $5,000 made $65, which I think the total deal was about $1,600 or something like that, split between Caleb and I, and then their portion of the $800 was $65.
And the night that we got the money, we had ordered pizza from like Isabella's, and Dad was like, "Man, all the money you waited like a whole year for it, invested, did all this in, it would have paid for like one night of pizza." And I was like,
I joked with them. I said, "Hey, y'all, thank you for treating us to pizza tonight as a celebration." They were like, "What, Dad?" I said, No, I'm just kidding. We're gonna pay for this." So, but it was a good celebration. So, Josh, I asked, was it you who said? I can't remember. We asked, okay, so kids, what did you learn after this situation? Because the most important part of this exercise for me was not how much money we could possibly have made, but what did we learn? What did I teach my kids about it? And I said,
I think it was Maddie who said it.
okay, so I said, so what did we learn? What questions are we going to ask next time? And what did Maddie say?
Is Caleb going to do the deal?
Yeah, is Caleb going to be the contractor on the deal? So anyway, so I shared that with Caleb. We were texting. I said, yeah, like one of my kids asked this question, and he laughed and he said, just tell your kids that I'm going to be asking myself the same question next time. Am I going to be the one doing this deal? Because maybe I shouldn't do it, So we learned how to, who you do business with matters, and their experience. Because Caleb wasn't trying to intentionally do anything wrong, but he was not as experienced. This is his first rodeo, and he was fully disclosed. He fully disclosed that to us. So, what else? What else did you learn about that deal? Investing in that deal.
You gotta expect a very long wait, because I think I might have been expecting like 4 months or something, and it was a year, and I was like, "Dad, is there any progress on the house? Dad, did it sell yet? Dad, blah, blah." So it finally did sell, and just be ready for a long wait, because...
Just shaking her head. Okay. So one of the other lessons that I teach my kids, so when we're training them to be productive members of society, go out and make a living for themselves, we have to realize that money is just a representation of value. Money is what we trade our value for. And so I often tell my kids, like, if you want to make money, then you have to provide value in some way. So you have to create value, and then people will come pay you for value when they find value. You have a thought to share about that, Josh?
So...
Well, I mean, I wasn't necessarily leading you on to talk about your other business, but we can go into that right now.
Well, I'll tell you, me and my older sister have businesses. So my oldest sister, Maddie, she's 15. She crochets octopuses and like sea turtles and stuff like that, and she sells them. I don't know how much she sells. I think like the octopus. I don't know. It doesn't matter. So. And then what I do is, if you're a Lego fan, you know that Legos are extremely expensive. So if you go to this company called AliExpress, there are compatible Legos like Leptin, which aren't really real. And then...
Wait, what's the word you said? Leptin?
Yeah, that's, I think.
Leptin? Okay, I didn't know that word.
And it's basically fake Lego, but in the same sets. So I buy the sets and then resell them on like Facebook Marketplace and make profit. That's what I do.
Because why do you like to do that?
Well, because I really like to build Lego. I've recently become, I wouldn't say addicted, very interested in Legos. And it has become like my business. So sales are down right now. So go to Facebook Marketplace and you'll see some Legos.
The fun part is that, I mean, you approached us and we were like, that is not going to
gonna
work.
And and it sold. And I was like, in your face.
A rare chance to prove the parents wrong,
And I brought an example here. So it's a little.
Yeah, so Josh is going to show an example. But this is true. So look at this. Josh, tell us about this piece. What is it called? What are the features and benefits?
It is a Lego Republic frigate. It is from the Lego Star Wars movie, The Phantom Menace. I think it resold for about $90 back in when it was released. And I don't know. And
how much did you buy it for?
Well, off of AliExpress.
This is the compatible Legos, right?
Compatible
Like not the real Legos
fake
stuff.
Legos. I bought it for around $40 on AliExpress, and the resale NIB new and boxed is over, I think it's almost $1,000. So I specifically picked the ones that are have a good resale value. So this one is listed for $160 right now, I think. So that would be $120 profit. And there's a bunch of features. It's there's a whole interior. There's the escape pod. There's a little thing that turns. Cockpit. All that good stuff. So if you want to own this Lego set, you can go.
Shameless
buy it.
plug for Josh's Legos.
Yep.
So one of the go ahead, babe. You were about to say something.
I was just, he has your shameless marketing, your shameless sales.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the kids so far has it. That's, I think, the only one. So I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
He caught, not taught, right? Maybe. I don't know. So one of the things that I love about this for Josh is that he's getting to do what he loves. Like he loves building Legos, and he's turned it into a profit center for himself, something that he enjoys doing and something that he can make some money with too, which is another lesson we try to teach our kids. Hey, find a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life.
And like my dad says, he says sometimes how in his real estate business, the snowball that keeps rolling, if, for example, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 4 is 8, and 8 times 8 is 16. I just...
4 plus 4 is 8.
4 times 4 is 16, whatever.
There you go.
Yeah. Cut that out.
This is a test.
Who's
We
your
homeschool
teacher?
them, so this is actually a test.
All right. And so, anyways, it's like this particular thing, it's $140, and if I sell it, it's $40, and if I sell it for $160, I could buy 4 more of these and sell those for $160, and that would be $640. Yes, I can do math. So that's just a way, the more I sell, the more I can buy, which is the more I can sell. And it's like a snowball that keeps on rolling. So.
Yeah, and I'm very proud of my kids for being productive and just being resourceful in the way they think about it. And I've really, really enjoyed that part of parenting is watching my kids, bring some things to the table. And like Rhonda was saying, Josh did tell us oh, this is what I'm going to do. I think we should sell it. And we were like, man, we really don't want to post this on Facebook Marketplace. This is a kind of a hassle. And I don't think it's going to work because I thought, well, why would somebody buy a Lego set that's not even a real Lego set? We disclose, of course, that it's compatible Legos. It's not, but we get the fun of building it. And by the way, one thing I've noticed, Josh and I are building another Lego compatible set right now, big old Millennium Falcon. I wanted to show it. Josh didn't want to bring it, so it's huge.
It's 12 pounds.
We weighed it last night. It's not even finished yet. Yeah. But we get the fun of building it, and there's really no difference if it's a legit actual bona fide Lego versus a compatible, like it's.
But there are a few benefits, like there's a lot of collectors, they're really particular about the minifigures and the box. Like, if you've seen it, you know there's a giant box with, like, the Millennium Falcon flying on the front. But whereas it just came in, like, a box with a bunch of bags that were luckily numbered. If you know Lego sets, the recent ones, they are numbered. But, like, that set that I just pulled out wasn't numbered, didn't have numbered bags. So it's just a giant pile of pieces, which is still fine, but it's a little harder to build. But the Millennium Falcon, it has numbered bags, so it's pretty fun to build.
Yeah, we've been having a good time building it. Takes a long time.
And one thing we say, like, time, value, money, like, right now our kids have time. They have more time than we do as adults. So, like, he is investing time in it because that's what he has. And as a parent, I like that it's something productive. And I think it's neat how right now in our world, like, kids can post things on Facebook Marketplace. Like, you don't need a storefront. You don't need, like, you can do that and sell it, and they can test the waters. You know, because when they're little, you're like, oh yeah, like, you'll buy things from them that, you know, no one else except a grandparent would actually purchase. But, like, they're able to create and test the waters and see if it actually could be a business. And, you know, and he was right. And this is actually, you know, for him right now, it's something that he can make pretty decent money because he has the time to invest in it.
And, like, one time, I think this was one of my recent ordeals, there's my sister. She came to me with the proposal because she saw I was making good money.
She said, I went in on that action.
And, well, when I talked to her, she was like, see, you don't have a lot of money to spend, and I do. And I was like, what do you do? Like, why did you call me in here? And she's like, I want to invest. And I was like, oh, so you do, huh? So she invested in one of my Lego sets.
You knew it was a good business when your big sister wants to invest in it.
Like, she came to me. I didn't come to her. So
That's another lesson. If you have the deals, money finds you. Like, people will come and invest in a deal if you know a good deal.
So what we did was, the Lego set was like $45, and she paid for $30, and I paid for $15. And when we sold it, we were gonna split the total outcome. Profit.
Difference, yeah.
And you're like, if $15.30, that doesn't seem fair. But when we get it, I build it, and that's basically fulfilling the rest of my share of what we bought. So that's how. I don't know if I explained that well, but
yeah, it's called sweat equity. You're putting in your sweat, and that's the equity you're putting in. She put in more money, and you put in more time. Yeah.
So.
And that was a win for you? That was
It was like, I don't know, maybe it took me like 4.5 hours to build. It's Lego MTT 2007.
So a win for him and a win for Maddie is a win-win, and that's how we do deals. We like to do deals where everybody wins.
But it hasn't sold yet. So
nobody has won yet.
Well, this is a month in the past, so you might not be there, but
when this episode comes out, maybe it'll be sold already. So one of the things, though, that we were referencing earlier, Rhonda talked about, is we decided that, we said, okay, Josh, we'll let you try this. And lo and behold, somebody bought it, and he made, I don't know, which one was that one that you proved us wrong on?
My best deal was
it the first one?
Well, no, it wasn't my first one, but the best deal was the Lego Empire Shuttle Big White thing, UCS Ultimate Collector Series. I think I bought it for like $60. It was really cheap. This thing new and boxed over $1,000.
When it's real Lego, it's
real Lego, new and boxed. It was, so I sold it for like $200, which was $140 profit, which went to more Legos.
Yep.
So, and then my first deal was something I did with him. It's like a drop ship with AT&T, and we sold it. So.
Yeah, and so one of the other lessons, I want to go back to the lesson with the flip walnut. Sometimes we invest and it doesn't work out, right? You've even seen that with your Legos, but you learn, right? Yeah. Like Mom was talking about, investing and testing the market, seeing what works and seeing what doesn't. Now we know, hey, that doesn't work. So,
and he's helped me a lot because, like, what's the word? Marketing, where you, like, arrange your items to where someone wants to buy it, and he's kind of helped me with that with my
Like
listings.
merchandising them?
Merchandising, that's
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
merchandising. So maybe if
Presentation matters.
maybe if I just like, there's this one Lego set that I bought 3 of. They're called Venators, and I just put them all 3 in one big picture, and I thought that was pretty good marketing. So
I was going to say, I with the house, the first flip, I mean, I, of course, wanted everyone to do well, but in some ways, I'm actually kind of glad it wasn't this, like, amazing windfall for our young children on their first one, because I think that could be, you know, we know that that's not always the case. So I think it will help them to understand that there's a risk involved, and thankfully they didn't lose. But like he said, they were dreaming about, you know, the potential for
They were spending that money. They were like, man, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
And that's such a great lesson, because when it came in, it was not that at all. And so in some ways, I mean, the failures are better lessons, especially with beginners. And it's, you know, there was not a lot of risk involved for them in that way. But
sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. That's a John Maxwell book title, and that's one of the things that we talk about as a family. Like, hey, we take those failures and we learn from them, and that's what I would say to new investors. Like, don't be afraid to get in there. You might not make a lot of money, you might lose a little money. Luckily, we made money on this. It wasn't much, but we did make a little bit of money.
it's better than losing money.
Yeah, which was
Even
on the
if
table.
we lost like a cent to $1, $65 is still like
For a
a
kid,
decent amount of profit for,
Yeah.
a kid. For me, it's not that much.
I think it was like 1.2% in a year, which is, you know, like not great, but it's better than negative.
Yeah.
So,
were you going to talk about what you're trying to do with Matt, our oldest, with buying
oh
a
yeah,
rental?
so we do. So our oldest daughter is almost 16, and you know, will eventually be moving out at some point. And so we wanted to start, you know, kind of future pacing that and helping her to build equity in something that she can move into and have a house. So we've looked at a couple of duplex properties, or just really one, and it didn't work out. The seller decided to keep it, which I thought was a good decision for him. I actually told him not to sell it, but if he did, like we might be interested in it. And so we look right now for properties that we might be able to kind of involve our kids with and keep as a long-term investment property. Specifically right now, we're looking for a duplex for Maddie, but you know, and we'll just kind of keep on doing that. I want to really teach my kids, invest alongside with them, teach them how to invest. And it's just, you know, it'll help build their long-term wealth in the future, and it'll kind of solidify some of those lessons we're teaching them. So, anything else y'all like to add before we sign off today?
No, I mean, like for Maddie too, starting out, like we're looking for something which is what you did, that someone can rent, you know, there's 3 or 2
Yeah,
units
she can
that
live in
rent,
part of it
she can
and
live
rent
in
it out part of it. You
and
know?
rent, and sometimes that can even pay your entire mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
So just like seeing that money that was so incrementally built over years and years that would have been wasted, you know, can be a down payment on a property, which is just really setting them up for to have great equity in the future, like you said. So, and of course, the younger ones are seeing that. Like, that's just, I mean, we believe property is one of the best ways to invest, because you see it rarely goes down. I don't know, that's your world. He has a chart for that, but
Probably do something.
it's good investment. We know that. So
What else? Anything else, Josh? You got any lessons you want to share?
loved hearing
Any wisdom? Yeah, good
all
job,
your
buddy.
wisdom that you've-
I'm really proud of
I
you, the
know.
way that you've done this.
Thank you.
So,
I have some wisdom that if, like me, I was a little nervous to come on here, but who cares whatever I think? Just come up here. If you think about it, like, there's a whole big crowd, but if you think of one person individually watching you, you're like, but everybody's one person individually. But it's the crowd that makes you scared. But, like, if you just think about it, everybody is one person individually. So,
That's right.
Deep Thoughts with Josh Frederick.
I like it.
I was just sharing that.
Well, thanks, buddy. I appreciate you coming on today. Thank you, Rhonda. I love my family, as many of y'all know, and It's an honor to be able to share this experience with you all today. So thank you so much for tuning in to this special Father's Day episode of the Will Frederick podcast, where we talk about real estate, wealth building, money, and life.